Okay, everyone, let's do it. It's me, the dog, you, Bourbon. Let's hit it. Let's make this thing happen. Let's make some magic happen on the show today. We got Four Roses, single barrel. It's good stuff. Runs a little hot. It's got a little bit of a kick, but it is good stuff. He was hammered on that stuff all weekend. That's why he's a little groggy today. He's just bouncing back from the hangover. So about, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, I made a video, something to the effect of how to lose $66,000. And that's very good clickbait, you got to admit. Now, probably 73 people have watched that video thus far because we're a small channel. But this is going to be a follow-up video to that. And the premise of it was how stupid it is to keep renting something. Like, and there are some exceptions where you can go, okay, yeah, it might make sense for that guy to rent a place. But as a general rule of thumb, it's really not a wise financial decision to rent a place. And I just gave a breakdown on here's how you can lose $66,000, everyone. This is going to be a follow-up to that because something that I realized as I was writing that, the basic premise was, let's just say that your rent is the national average, which is about $1,100 a month. Or maybe that was the Salt Lake average, but anyway, it was a average, or there was national or Salt Lake. That translates into it being about a $200,000 home, right? So you could buy a $200,000 home and your monthly output, now in the form of a mortgage payment, is still gonna be about $1,100 a month. So it's gonna be the same as what your rent payment is. The big question is this, well, what if I can't get a house for $200,000, okay? And it's a very valid point, and I brushed over it because I knew I was going to make this follow-up video because I've got a good hack for you, okay? I don't really believe in hacks, and this isn't really much of a hack, but it is kind of an accurate hack. So the big question is going to come down to this. Can you get approved for more than $200,000 on your house budget, right? Can you, let's just say for the sake of argument and the numbers here, can you get approved for a $300,000 house? Now, you're going to want to work with a lender on that. And most of you ultimately will find your lender through your real estate agent, but some of you go and you find a lender first, and that's fine. That's no problem. You're going to want to talk to your lender and you're going to submit some documents, pay stubs, yada, yada, yada. And you're just going to see like, hey, what can I get pre-approved for? Let's just say that you could get approved for $300,000, but you're like, I get it. I can get it. And this happens all the time, right? Where people get approved for a number. They get approved for $300,000. And they're like, that's great. But what does that break down to on my monthly payment? They're like, yeah, I'm not willing to have that payment. So like, it's a nice thought that I can get approved for. That happened with me when I bought my house. They were like, hey, you can get approved for, honestly, I don't remember what the number was. It was a few years ago, but they were like, hey, you can get approved for this. And I was like, it's cool. I don't really want to spend that much a month. So like, it's nice, but I'm going to keep my budget to this. But let's just say you get approved for $300,000, but you don't want to spend what your monthly would be on a $300,000, which would be about an extra $500. So now it'd be closer to $1,600. This is rough math, everyone. Just bear with me, right? Be about an extra $500 a month. So very simply, everyone, what you're going to do is you're going to be like, cool, go buy that $300,000 house, and this is a novel concept, rent out a room. Fucking genius. Genius, Finn. This is so basic, everyone. Many people that are renting an apartment have a roommate anyway. So all you're going to do is you're going to get a more expensive house and you're just going to have a roommate for a little bit, okay? Until your income grows with your age, and then eventually you can maybe kick your roommate out and be like, cool, I'll just pick up the whole monthly mortgage payment myself. So the benefit of this, of course, is you now have a more expensive house that you're happy with, right, that you could get, but your monthly output, that $1,100 that you were striving for, actually stayed the same. Just go rent out the room for $500 a month. Is that outrageous to go, I could rent out a room in my home for $500 a month? Frankly, it's probably a low ball. I mean, you're sharing your space, but that's probably a pretty low ball number. Now, if you wanted to really get strategic, if you're like, man, for $300,000, I could go get a 3-bedroom house. Like, maybe I'll rent out 2 bedrooms and I'll just have my master bed, bath, right? And like, then you go, okay, shit, now you're saving money compared to what your monthly rent was. Mind you, what you have to keep in mind in all of this versus a rent scenario, you own the home, right? So the home is going up in value each and every month, each and every year, and what you owe on the home is going down. Right? So it's like, cool, you bought the house, it's worth $300,000 and you owe, whatever, $280,000. You put down $20,000. Cool. Over the next 5 years, we started here, The home went up this much and you paid off this much. So now this gap is called equity. That is cash in the bank. It's just in the form, your home is your bank. Now you don't want to get too crazy here like some people do, and they're constantly taking out loans against their house and home equity lines of credit and all that kind of stuff. Use caution on all that. But like, look guys, this is how you get ahead, very simply. Okay, so look, this is what you want to do. If you're like, I want to buy a house, I don't think I can buy anything for what I want my monthly output to be. You're going to go talk to a lender, right? If you need help with that, like seriously guys, if you need help with that, let me know. We've got a couple lenders that we work with that deal nationwide that we can get you in touch with. We're happy to. We don't make any money on that. It's just, if you want a connection, cool, we'll give you a connection. And you're going to see, cool, what can I get pre-approved for? And then with that extra pre-approval number compared to what you want to spend, you're going to get that house, you're going to rent out a room, you're going to make a short-term sacrifice for the long-term gain. That's very simply what you're doing here. And you're going to rock and roll on that plan. Your house is going to increase in value statistically, and what you're going to owe on it's going to go down, and you're going to have equity in your home. And this is how you start to create some wealth in your life. Everyone, I hope this helps. It's a relatively straightforward way to break down home ownership, but sometimes that's what we need. Like frankly, I needed something as simple. I was renting the home that I owned before I bought it. And very simply, I had no plans of buying something. This is before I was in real estate, obviously. And I was talking to a buddy one day, and he was like, hey, my dad does real estate or loans or something like that. And he was like, you could, like, the 20% thing's not really like the way that a lot of people do it now. Like, you could probably like buy this with like 0 down or 3% down. I was like, really? Like, sometimes you need to hear something to spark and go, hang on, you're telling me it's actually that easy to get into this game? It's not really that complicated, everyone. Sometimes you just need to hear some simple breakdowns like this to go, you know what? You're right. We had a client in San Diego. Sorry, I'm off on a rant now. You can shut down the video now if you want, but we had a client that we're helping out in San Diego right now that, after that $66,000 video, he called me up because we talked 6 months ago from Instagram. We know each other from the gun world on Instagram, and him and his wife saw that, and they just had some life circumstances going on. They're like, you know what? That one kind of spoke to us, or like, let's make some stuff happen. Like 4 or 5 days after we talked last week, they looked at 6 homes in San Diego on Sunday. Pre-approved, looked at 6 homes already. That was in the course of 4 or 5 days. That is a damn good turnaround time, everyone. That is, sometimes we got to pat ourselves on the back. Hey, I pat our team in San Diego on the back for that one. So anyway, everyone, I'm just ranting and jabbering at this point, so I'm going to shut up. I hope everyone's doing well, and you have a nice rest of your week or weekend, whatever day this falls. And yeah, we will see you soon.